All right, the third part of this riveting and engaging study guide series is table analysis. So how do we read tables for derivatives and second derivatives? So there's some really key annotations that we need to know. First of all, if f prime is positive, all right, remember that this is talking about our slope, right? Then f is increasing. If f prime is negative, our slope, then f is decreasing. We know this, and we actually know how to find this. This is what we call the first difference. Or we could actually use our slope formula, which would be a change in y over change in x, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And one thing that a lot of people, if they do get these wrong, is they put these out of order. So remember that you put like the second point with the second point, but also make sure that you put your y on top. All right, so this is just classic slope. Now for this next part, f double prime, we know that this is actually talking about concavity. Okay, and how we find that is we actually, if f double prime is positive, then that tells us that our slope is increasing, right? So remember that concave up is an increasing slope, right? The slope is actually changing and it's getting higher. And concave down would mean the slope is changing and it's getting smaller. So if f double prime is positive, f prime is increasing. So how we find f double prime is we actually find the second difference. And we find that second difference in kind of a way by taking the slope of the slope. All right, so kind of like how this is first and second derivative, think of this as like first and second slope. All right, so that's kind of what that tells us, and now let's kind of put this into practice. So we got the following table here. We got this function. We're given just a select table of values. So this actually came from our CFU the other day. And I want to make sure that I'm going over some common mistakes here. So a lot of people just assumed like if f prime was negative, it was also automatically going to be decreasing. Well, if f prime is negative, that tells us that f is decreasing. But we'd actually have to find f double prime to see if f prime is increasing or decreasing. All right, so we want to know if f prime is negative and if f prime is decreasing. F prime is negative and if f prime is increasing. So we actually have to find our f prime for this one, and we have to find our f double prime for this one. So think of this as like a two-part problem. So we're going to start by finding our first difference here. I get from 9 to 4 by going down 5, and 1 to 2 by going up 1. So I'm just kind of using my like classic rate of change here. And this is going down 4 and up 1. So if I were to put these into a fraction, down 3 and up 1, down 2 and up 1, my fractions would be negative 5 over positive 1, negative 4 over positive 1, negative 3 over positive 1, and negative 2 over positive 1. All right, so my slopes actually look something like this. It goes from negative 5 to negative 4 to negative 3 to negative 2. All right, that's my f prime in order. So we can answer that first question. Is f prime going to be negative or positive? Well, let's look at all of these numbers. Clearly all these numbers are negative, so we can cancel out those two right there. All right, just because, sorry, I should cross out the part that's incorrect. They're definitely not positive. All right, now I need to look at, is f prime increasing or decreasing? So to see if f prime is increasing, we're going to look at the second difference, and we're actually going to see what is happening with f prime. So from negative 5 to negative 4, notice how I'm actually now taking the slope of these. From negative 5 to negative 4, we can see that we're actually going up 1. The reason why we're going up 1 here, remember I know it looks like 5, 4, 3, 2, but this is very far left on our number line, and we're actually working our way back towards 0 and positive numbers, so we actually are increasing here. So this was our f double prime here, right? Our second difference, the slope of slope. So what does that tell us? If f double prime is positive, that tells us that f is increasing. So f prime must be increasing. We must have some kind of concave up feature here. So we're just going to look for where f prime we already found is negative, but it's also increasing. So once again, just kind of thinking about why that is just the difference between the first difference, f prime, and the second difference, f double prime. One more example here is going to be the following. True or false for f of x below. Okay. Just quick annotations. Here's our f of x, similar type of problem. We still have a table. We're just going to quickly figure out what the heck this means. F prime of x is less than 0. Okay, that means our first difference. That means our slope has to be less than 0. It has to be negative. All right, so we're looking for where f prime is negative, and remember, that's our first difference. That's our slope. So let's just go over and just figure out if that's true first. We go from 12 to 8. That's going down 4. And 8 to 5. That's going down 3. And remember, these are going up 1. So if you were to put those in a fraction, you'd have like negative 4 over 1. If you used your formula like y2, y1, x2, x1, you would get the same thing. You'd get slopes of negative 4 and negative 3. All right, so is our slope negative? Let's see. We have slopes of negative 4 and negative 3. Those are my f prime values. Yeah, my slope is negative. So yes, this is correct so far. And we also have to see if f double prime is greater than 0. So we actually want to see if this is a positive number. F double prime positive. So remember, when we do this, we have to actually find the slope kind of our slope. Slope of f prime, our second difference. Well, we already have our first difference here, right? So if we find f double prime, all we have to do is see how is this changing from negative 4 to negative 3. And once again, we can see if we add 1 to negative 4, we'll actually get to negative 3. So this was a change of plus 1. So that tells me that f double prime was positive. Is that what I needed? Absolutely. Now, you won't see a true or false question on our assessment, but you will see questions that maybe ask you to annotate things in this way and to analyze a table in this way. So I want you to focus on my annotations and my work here to see how I was able to think about this problem and to set up a strategy to attack it. Once again, f prime first difference, f double prime second difference, and pay very close attention to what those two things mean.